Supergirl 2026 dropped last weekend featuring Millie Acock. Now, I didn't watch the James Gunn Superman movie and I didn't watch House of Dragon, but for some reason I was anticipating this film, and I suspect it's because I harbored residual respect for the 2023 Flash version of Supergirl portrayed by Sasha Calle and is in the Snyderverse. Now, there are a ton of missteps in the script, but I don't really care about those. The biggest things that I just felt broke the movie was, why wasn't Supergirl poisoned in the same manner as her dog? It had already proved to be a pretty effective method. And number two, why was the dog plot portrayed as more important than the human trafficking plot? That was the hugest misstep of the entire movie. Now, I understand these are two different universes from James Gunn and Zack Snyder, but Snyder did it better, hands down. His Supergirl is stronger, faster, and otherworldly, and she is sophisticated and powerful, just to sum up her entire character. Here are just a few clips showing how fast and how strong she is. For instance, she had to peel Zod out of the side of a ship she had smashed him into, and here she is just playing with lightning. Now, watching James Gunn's Supergirl fight is like watching Batman, which he is highly trained, highly skilled. He is good, but he is not super. And when you have something like Supergirl, you really need that superness to come through. It shouldn't feel like I'm watching a Batman fight. Even though Batman is my favorite character, when I'm watching a Supergirl, Superman, shouldn't feel like I'm watching a Batman fight. So, like I said, I understand that these stories can't possibly diverge. These are two separate directors, two separate universes, but man, I thought it was such like, what if the human trafficking plot had been given to Zack Snyder's Supergirl? I felt that she was already in this position where she had been in captivity. She wasn't a ex-slave, if you catch my drift, but she was already put into captivity, so she knows exactly what it's like to be taken and held captive against your will. And she actually had a character arc to overcome, so she had a major distrust of humanity. And so I think that if she had been given this like kind of plot of human trafficking, especially when females are concerned and young children are concerned, she would have seen like the innocence and really related to them, because she was just not having humanity in the Flash, right? But seeing innocence kind of in the same position she had been put in, I feel would have connected her to them and to their cause. And we already know that she could really get angry at this type of thing. And then that would fuel her to then defeat or destroy, I think his name is Krim, destroy Krim as being the bad guy trafficker. And so even that destruction scene would have been that much more satisfying had it been grounded in that type of thing. And that's not to say that they should like switch actresses. I think Millie Acock is a good actress, as is Sasha Calle. I do prefer the brunette hair. And I do prefer the full bodysuit versus the skirt, but that is like an aesthetic thing that doesn't really matter. I'm just saying, like, it's kind of shameful or just a pity that this storyline, which they could have brought a lot of attention to modern day slavery on the red carpet, had they been focusing on this storyline, and it really didn't matter which actress portrayed that storyline. If it were addressed the way it should have been. It's a weighty subject, yes, but imagine a movie actually doing some good for society. Imagine the movie actually championing justice in some way that is deep and not shallow. You have thousands of girls being trafficked. So why on earth is the focus of this movie a dog? I do not prefer the messy, sloppy, drunkard Supergirl. But if there were anything to pull her out of that stupor, it would have been, hey, I have something important that I need to do. Thousands of girls are being trafficked, and I need to help them. And then again, I know the backstories can't be mixed because it's a different universe and different directors. But if she had also the backstory of, I was held captive by humans and they tortured me and I was held captive against my will, this is like even better. Like, this would connect them so much more and have that through line of just injustice that needed to be righted. Like, you know, the Justice League, you know what I mean, needs to come in. So that's all I have for the video. I'm not like a Supergirl or Superman fan. I like Batman, that is like my favorite. But I was really hoping to see the caliber of superhero that I saw in The Flash. And I was just let down in that, and maybe my expectations were a little too high.